the waiting room there. Hang in there. We'll be with you in 1 second. Guys, I got a hell of a show tonight, and we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. But before we start, I want to run an ad from our friends over at the American Beverage Association. Here we go.
Our nation is standing up for American workers, restoring the pride of making products here at home. That's what we do every day. We're America's beverage companies, making American products with American workers in America's hometowns, delivering brands that have been enjoyed for generations, creating good-paying jobs, the kind that require only a strong work ethic. Because we believe in the promise of America and the people who make it great.
I want to thank our friends over at the American Beverage Association for sponsoring the show today. Today's episode, of course, brought to you by them. I've been playing this video all week, and I just want to tell you a little bit more about them. A lot of people are talking American jobs these days, which is great, but our friends at America's Beverage Companies have been walking the walk this whole time, providing good-paying jobs, the kind that only require a strong work ethic, jobs that make it possible to raise a family, put down roots, and build a future. They always have been and always will be American companies making American products with American workers all across this great country. 275,000 American workers across all 50 states show up every day and put in an honest day's work to help America great, make America great. I still need to learn how to read at America's Beverage Companies. Learn more at wedeliverforamerica.org. And also Tiny Nugget is here. Chloe Cole, hello. Hold on. Let me make you, I should make you the same size as me. How about that? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. I'm excited to have you on here because I think you're a real hell of a hero. And there's my co-host and director of operations, Tiny Nugget Trinity, is here with us as well.
Nice to meet you, Chloe.
Nice to meet you.
I'm going to get right into this because number one, I absolutely think you're a hero. I think you're a hell of an example for a lot of people, and you're a hell of a warning for a lot of people too. And the mission that you've gone on over the past couple of years is a powerful one. And it's I didn't have time to talk to you at YWLS. Also, I was the only guy there, and I got my my security pass checked 1,000,000 times because I dress like this all the time, and I look like a real fucking creep walking around YWLS like this.
Every other guy I know who was there said the exact same thing.
Really?
Yes, like they were getting weird stares, both from like the girls who were attending. Because it's like you're not exactly supposed to be there. But also, like, even the security guards, like one dude I know had a guard get like really, really tough on him because he lost his pass and he was trying to look for it, and somebody else had to get it for him. And even when he had his pass, the guy was still giving him a weird look. So
no, I asked for where the men's restroom was. I had to walk past like a line for a meet and greet for Alex Clark, and I go in the men's restroom and I come out and the guy's waiting for me, and he's like, where's your pass? And I go, it's here. And like, it was flipped around because I don't, you don't stare at my pass the entire time. And it's like, you need to turn that around. I'm like, dude, I don't stare at my pass the whole time, brother. Like, I'm like,
I think this was the exact same security guard. Also, speaking of the bathrooms there, they converted most of the men's restroom into women's restrooms temporarily.
Oh, right. Oh,
so I remember
right.
like the whiplash of walking into one and seeing the urinal on the wall and thinking like, wow, what a throwback. It's like a bad throwback, but it's like,
ma'am, I took for granted thinking that there were easily locatable and walk-toable restrooms. And so I like wait till the last minute when I'm talking to people. And then I realized I had to walk like a quarter mile down and like I walked up and they were like, this is for women. And I'm like, no, okay, well, can't go to that one. And I just kept going and going and
Never
going.
Never assume. Now you know for next time.
I mean, it's a women's event. Anything you need, it's not for you.
Not for me. It's not for me. You know what was for me? The open bar. But that was
your foo-foo water.
It was fine. It was a whole thing. Listen, Chloe, man, your journey is incredible. And I want to talk to you about a bunch of stuff. And Trinity, I think, has questions too if she's got time to stick around today here. But like, I want to talk about this because the societal pressures and everything that's going on, changing the culture. Like today alone in Maine, they had like a drag queen doing like their morning weather. And I'm like, what is happening here?
Like on the news?
Yeah, hold on.
Local news?
Here, I'll show you. I got it pulled up.
I don't even know if
I
I
would
want
love
to
see this.
Yeah,
not really, but yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
This is informative. This is research. That's what we're doing.
Research? Yeah, somebody sent it to me earlier today. Where am I at?
It's about as informative as like scrolling through YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Here we go. This is the morning weather in Maine. I mean,
He
come
looks
on.
like an insect.
Hello, everybody. I am Chartreuse Money, and today, as
Francis.
current temperatures right
You know, when I think weather, I think Chartreuse Money. That's who I want to get my weather from, is Chartreuse Money.
here, Saturday, it's 2:40 p.m., honey. It is 80 degrees here in Portland right now, honey, and we are feeling the effects. The sun is out. All it took was a pride parade to bring the sunshine out today, but honey, it is hot all
Okay, I've heard.
I never want my
No.
weatherman to call me honey ever again.
Yes, agreed. What is that outfit though? It's like a dress, but it's also like
Listen.
Got a
I
little
don't
like
even- I
keyhole
don't
in the
even-
thigh. It's a little much.
So it's a lot.
Scandalous. They let this on the internet. I don't understand.
Well, they know this was morning news. This was
On TV.
morning
I
news.
just can't believe it. Like they just were like, yeah, like do it. Go ahead. Did they let anybody walk on the street just being like, oh yeah, you're gonna be the weather forecaster today?
I have always wanted to do the weather, by the way, and I used to have a deal with Fox 5 in DC, and they would never let me do the weather
Ah,
because it's like,
well,
you know,
maybe you got to go as a drag queen. Maybe that's the problem.
you can get away with anything if you're a drag queen, right? Like, you can be like,
I mean,
"Oh,
having been on a few news segments myself, if I showed up to the studio with that outfit, I would have been kicked out so fast.
and you know this guy, by the way, you know this guy smells like the worst perfume. Like you know, he's
So
you're wondering
true.
who still buys the Britney Spears shit. It's this guy.
It's
He's wearing
Bath and
Teen
Body
Spirit
Works.
and like a $5 like Barbie perfume from the dollar store.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and does he show up like that, or does he switch when he gets in? Like he's like, hey, I need a full dressing room here. I need some. Where's my?
I mean, are there
Do they even
like
ask-
full-time drag queens that just like they wake up, they shower, and then that's how they go everywhere for the rest of the day? Or is it just like a performance thing?
Well, the one Chapel Roan is a full time drag queen now. But, I think I learned all about her. No, this is like this guy. I mean, like again, like he's got a body like me. He's got a little chunky there with a little. I mean, you'd think he'd dress more modestly. Like I mean, even though it's covered like a figure skater, still I don't want to see it.
I don't. It's too much skin. You know what? Just a little too much.
It's covered
Just a
skin.
little
It's
too
covered
much.
in skin.
I mean, what do you do when you're like, it's the morning time, you're like sending your kids off to school, you turn on the TV, and that's what they see.
Well, so that's the thing, right? So like
I'd definitely get woken up.
this is
saw
this is
that.
what like I wanted to bug you about, and obviously in a very serious manner, like the effect on kids and stuff like that. This is fucking weird. We swear on this. We're not like normal conservatives. This is fucking weird. All right. But like, does this affect kids in any way when you see other than normalizing it? This is normalizing it, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I grew up in a very hypersexual culture where all of these unnatural and age inappropriate and just plain wrong ideas around human sexuality, around male and female were going around. And I mean, that really messed me up. Before I thought I was a boy, I thought that I was an inadequate woman because I wasn't hypersexualizing myself enough, because I wasn't curvy enough. And I was just a little girl at this time. Like I was barely hitting puberty, like 9, 10, 11, 12, like seeing these hypersexual images of women on the internet. And even like learning about pornography through like my school device that was not being properly monitored by the school, from my friends at school. And I think like my generation is the first that's growing up with the internet where you can easily access stuff like this. Like the inappropriate content that children are accidentally discovering is so much different than like say like a Playboy magazine of a few decades ago. It's instant, it's in your face, and it's so much more disgusting and demoralizing. And I think we've got to see the full effects, the full extent of how this affects children as they grow up.
Well, this is. I was just talking about this with a buddy of mine now because I'm like single as of like a month or so ago, and having to be back out on the market. Like the pornification of society has ruined, I think, women in particular because their behavior. And again, you've seen this through that, but like even like people my age, and I'm like double your age. It's scary how old I am, but like the behavior of women on dates and just how they present themselves on dating apps and all that stuff, like it's changed so significantly in just the past 5 years. And it's like gross what women are doing now, and like how they demean themselves really ultimately, as opposed to like how they, you know, instead of just presenting yourself like a normal human being.
And unfortunately, a lot of these younger women, they don't realize just how disgusting it is because it's a
Mhm.
product of the culture that they grew up in and the environment that they grew up in, and their older sisters and even their mothers and their female role models were all presenting this super sexual, super uninhibited way of life, way of behaving, and so they just think it's normal.
Yeah.
They think it's reasonable to behave and to dress this way
Yeah.
without realizing the consequences.
Especially with the internet out there, social media, that's really what gets them because they're just being influenced every single day. I mean, how many hours on the phone are normal adults on it now with kids, with being iPad kids, raising that generation up like that? I mean, it can be easily influenced like that.
Well, unfortunately, I harass. I run my own workplace here, and so I harass Tiny Trinity with all of my dating apps, and she sees it. Even women
True.
who call themselves conservative Christian, you're like, no, you're not. Like you
Mhm.
literally can just. It's so creepy because she actually gets final say because she has to deal with me all day long as to
True.
who I'm allowed to go out with, and so I never thought I'd let a 21-year-old run my social life, but she's
I'm
smarter than
cool.
me. Yeah, it's cool. It works. But no, it's really scary, and I think it's also like an example for her. And like, I honestly feel like, and this is like super weird, but like maybe there should be a talk at, and I know YWLS is very conservative and stuff like that, but there should be like a talk at some point where it's like, hey, this is how people are presenting themselves. What the hell? And like you're obviously like you speak to it. The like conservative side of things obviously is there, and everybody's like warm and fuzzy when you're there, but when you're back out in the real world, it's really scary. And then like not only does it change the way that women behave, but then you have like the Andrew Tates of the world, God forbid I mention his name, who is then saying, to his incel army, that women have to be subservient and do all this disgusting stuff to be accepted by you, which is it's just a whole gross cultural shift that is really screwing up the world. I'm just saying that. You guys can respond at any point.
Absolutely, and I mean, there actually was a
Moment of silence.
there was a little bit of discussion around that at YWLS, but I think in general, between all generations of women, there needs to be a sitting down and talking about how the culture has shifted, and how we as younger women can preserve ourselves as we enter the dating market, as we look for partners, um, and how we can protect ourselves while also holding our partners to a higher standard.
Yeah.
That was a
Um,
conversation that I definitely did not have with any of my female role models growing up, and that I don't really think a whole lot of women my age that I know did either. But
yeah,
that's incredibly important. That's a
Mhm.
critical part of our culture now, especially in the dating realm. That's just completely lost.
yeah, completely. Like I almost feel like, and the problem is now that this generation is going to have start having kids, and it's going to the demoralization and the demeaning and like the behavior is going to continue to get worse in a very like exponential rate, I think, and it's a really scary situation.
Right. I mean, for one, our birth rates have dropped so much that it's like we're not going to be having a whole lot of children in the
So
first place
sad.
if you don't pick the pace up. And then for the kids who do come out, how are they going to be like? How can we ensure that our children, the next few generations, are going to grow up in a world that is safer, and healthier than the one that we did?
Well,
Right.
I look at this and like you talk about like birth rates being down, like Japan in particular is like hurting major. And you take a look at how early they start with kids with their stuff there because they have like the cartoon sexualization thing. So like I used to harass my ex who I lived with here. I'd go to Round One, which is a Japanese little game place. I don't know if you know Round One, guys, but I'm a nerd. And so like you go play the claw machine and you can win like the big boobed the Japanese toys, right? And so I'd go win them and bring them home and I'd put them up in the office and I would hear a scream, right? And of course, like I don't care, like I just play whatever. It was just to annoy her. Now, if you're a kid who has access to the like, let's just be free here. The big titted anime statues is what I call them. You get the big titted anime statues and you put them around the house. Like, and these kids have like full collections of them. These guys have these full collections of them, and they're over sexualized. They like are so used to like that and working with that then you're in a society that doesn't know how to talk to women properly, and then everybody's kind of repressed. Like, I mean, this is when you start kids on this stuff early, and it's crazy to me because again, like
Mhm.
my world was much different 30 years ago growing up than I am now because I'm 44. But like it's scary, and you can see why people aren't producing children because they're getting hooked on pornography instead of women. Crazy.
Right.
I think that's the really vicious thing about pornography, and especially with how easily accessible it is today and how children, I think the average age of exposure now is between 9 to 12 years old.
Yeah.
Well, it replaces the need for human companionship, especially with the opposite sex. So these little boys are growing up with, I mean, their need for female companionship already fulfilled, and they're not actually interacting with women, so they don't know how to get out into the world and how to actually do that, and they're probably not even thinking about that because, again, it's already being fulfilled in an unhealthy and inhuman way.
Well, in particular,
Right.
little baby Nugget down here. Where's she at? Baby Nugget hit on a boy at YWLS, and he said he was single, but he was too busy to go out with her, and I was very
So
angry at him.
We're still on this. No, let's go. Hold up.
Oh,
We're
no,
not
no,
gonna get into
time out,
this.
time out. No, hold on.
No,
Let's get into
no,
this. Let's
no.
get
Let's
into this.
not get into this. I have a point to say to this
Okay, go
discussion.
ahead. Mhm.
I was going to say, going back on getting like kids started way early about like, transgender, all this, stuff, is I actually saw on Instagram that a mom who gave birth to a like beautiful baby boy, son or whatever, is literally on Instagram holding her kid that was just born, holding up her phone saying like, "Oh, this is his name and he's transgender." I'm like,
Yeah,
"You're already choosing this child's like gender. It's not I mean, it's right, it's right there. Like you can't there's only two and you're just now they don't even have a choice. They're basically born into that. And they can't tell right from wrong right now from you being just born at that like it's just so sad and disheartening and I just can't believe there's people actually out there who would just advertise even out in the open on Instagram like just
yeah.
being like, "Oh yeah, my kid's transgender." Like that's like saying, "Oh yeah, I got a dog." And it can give birth and everything, but it's a guy. Like it's just it's so sad, and this topic just like I'm just very passionate about this topic, so that's why I'm like going on a rant.
I mean, it's just astounding seeing parents out there who are willingly doing that to their child. I mean, most of the moms and dads who are dealing with this, they're completely taken aback. Their kid comes home one day telling them that they don't feel comfortable in their bodies, that they hate themselves so much that they want to change a
Mhm.
fundamental part of themselves. I think of the pain that my mom and dad went through, that many of the parents who I personally have connected with have gone through trying to save their children, some of them even losing custody of their kids, and to know that their parents out there purposefully putting their own children on a pipeline that is going to disrupt their entire pathway into adulthood, that's going to rip their innocence away from them before they even understand what that really means, is just so incredibly infuriating.
Yeah.
Sickening.
Can I have to ask personal questions for you, Chloe. What's it like knowing that you're like kind of the person who carries the torch to help young people now? I mean, because you are so important. I mean, you really are. Like you're such an example for people, and it's just wild, like the influence that you have and the positive influence you have. Like, do you ever like feel that like when you're going to these conferences and you're like, man, it's me. Like you realize at some point like it's you that is the person who has been chosen by God to do this.
I mean, it's such a strange feeling to be in this position because just a few years ago, like, I mean, when I started speaking out publicly, I was just I had just dropped out of high school. I was basically a total loser, just like playing video games in my bedroom
We
all
know
day.
that.
I didn't
We're
even
aware.
know how to
You
like.
and
I
we're
was
all that.
I could barely even look people in
I'm
the
not
eye,
that.
let alone socialize. And so it was basically like a trial by fire these past 3 years, having to learn like, okay, like how do I socialize with people? How do I get my message out there? How do I hone it so that people will actually listen to me and take action? Being able to see the effects of this movement that I'm so blessed to be a part of has just been, it's been wonderful. And I I meet so many other young people who, some of them have been in the same position that I have, having gone through the process of transitioning, some of them detransitioning, some of them stopping before, luckily, they get onto the medical process, others who are dealing with it within their families, or just young men and women who want to speak up about a cause that they feel passionate about, but um, used to be afraid of the backlash or didn't think that they had it in them. Well, they see the young people like me, who are coming out with their own stories, their own testimonies, and doing what we previously thought was impossible, and to be a part of that movement that inspires others to move forward is, it's just incredible.
I mean,
I mean, I love getting to do what I do.
was there a moment when you were like that you like it hit you Like, because I feel like, and this is nowhere near what you're doing, but like there's times when I do like a 90-minute stand-up show and like 30 minutes in, every time I'm like, people paid to see this, you know?
Um, I mean, there's been a few moments. I actually recently spoke at a high school conference with Young America's Foundation in Santa Barbara about a few days ago, and I mean the kids there they were so excited to see me. I mean, before I was even finished giving my speech, they were like running to the back of the room to do Q&A and ask me questions, and it was like, wow, like I can use the bad things that have happened to me and my own expertise to influence the younger generation, to take the torch and to continue passing it down, to continue improving our world. And I mean, it was such a funny and sweet moment.
It's very cool. Trinity, do you need to go on your little date now?
It is not a date.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It's not a
date?
date. I'm getting dinner with one of my girlfriends.
Mm.
Oh,
Okay.
so
There you
not
go.
a date.
Boys, I thought it was.
Yes.
I thought you had a date. You don't have to lie to me. And
I'm
if-
not
Unless you
lying.
swing that way.
It's okay if you do. Do you? We need to discuss this in the office. No, we don't.
What?
The tiny baby nugget. All
What?
right, tiny baby
Why
nugget,
would
I'm
I
gonna
be
let you
on
go.
the show discussing about
Go
how
on your
passionate
date.
I am
Go on your date, tiny baby nugget. We both love you. See you. Goodbye. Bye.
Nice to
Goodbye.
meet you.
Nice to
I give her a hard time. She is she's the boss of the office around here, and so like that's it's important. No, man,
Gotta get back at her.
huh?
Gotta get back at her, right?
Yeah, all the time. No, we have this wonderful working relationship here where she's I mean, when I went to YWLS and I realized how awkward it was that I was an old man sitting in the second row. Which by the way, when they brought the cameras around, they're like, camera around, and then they like the drone would come around and the like, why is that guy there? Super weird. Now, I want to just for people who aren't familiar like with everything that happened with you, how easy was it for you as a kid to transition?
I mean, the fact that children can have access to transgender interventions at all is it's far too easy. That means it's far too easy. And for me, and for many of my friends who have been through the same thing, who have transitioned and detransitioned, it all happened. The process starts within a matter. For me, it took I would say about 9 months from my first ever therapy appointments ever to undergoing the first few steps of the process. Some of my friends were able to get prescriptions and get the drugs from the pharmacy in as little as a single as little as a single phone appointment.
That's wild. I mean, that's so scary how quick that is. And again, like telemedicine, I have a problem with already, but like, that's a whole nother conversation. But the fact that it can be done that quickly is scary.
It's horrific. I mean, there's no regard for gatekeeping. There's no regard for determining who may be more likely of a candidate for the process. There's absolutely it's just a complete ignorance of, I think, the basic fundamental rights of not only patients but also children. These are doctors who swore an oath to do no harm, but to impede a child's physical, emotional, social, and especially their sexual development into adulthood is exactly that. It's harmful, it's abusive, and so many children have been done a disservice by being led down this path.
Yeah. Are it's hard for me to wrap my head around it because again, like I like Trinity mentioned earlier, we ran a video the other day where it was like a mom at a protest and she's like, my 1.5-year-old, said that he was a girl or whatever, the opposite. Like, and I'm like, wait a second, like a 1.5-year-old knows like dada, a dog, puppy, whatever, cookie. Like there's no way that a child that young would know this stuff. And like, I mean, you obviously were affected later on in life, but now there's like, 4, 5, 6. I mean, it's really scary where our society is. And it again, I think a lot of it has to do with the pornification of things, but like also like you have crazy mothers. It's usually mothers, right? I mean, you've done more digging into this than I have. It's usually crazy moms, right?
Right. I mean, There are a few commonalities in the cases of children who end up transitioning. Many of them are on the autistic spectrum. Many of them have comorbid mental health issues. Um, Many of them have been sexually abused or assaulted at some point in their lives, especially early in childhood. And a lot of them have very unhealthy relationships with their family, especially either one of their parental figures.
Wow, it's wild to me. I mean, this is just it's really scary. And you're right. Like again, like for me, I don't know why this is so deep for people and why there's such a big argument here. Because anybody who's logical, like as you go through the years and you take a look at trends when things are happening, like when there's like a goth trend, everybody shows up to school dressed goth. And there was a trans trend, and that just happened to be a medical thing, and everybody went along with it. And then you had crazy parents that went along with it. How much like what were the pressures like coming out of it? Like when you said, "Hey, this is wrong. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to detransition." Like, did you get more hate? Like, what happened there?
Absolutely. I mean, the initial transition process was so much easier in every single way, socially and medically. Um, I mean, I started medically at the age of 13 with the usage of a chemical castration agent called Lupron to stop my puberty in its tracks. I was put on weekly injections of testosterone. And at 15 years old, I had a double mastectomy to get rid of my breasts. And there really was no pushback at all by any of my doctors throughout the process. And even though my mom and dad absolutely did not want me to undergo these more permanent parts of it. They wanted to allow me to be a kid. They wanted to just allow me to be a tomboyish girl because they knew that I wasn't a boy. They knew I was not their son or transgender. They were told, well, no, we're going to help your child. We're going to give her what she wants, and you are going to go along with it. They had my life threatened. They said the doctors told them it's it's either your child transitions or she ends up committing suicide, even though before that point in time, I was never suicidal. I wasn't suicidal until I began transitioning. And at the end of my transition, I I realized I didn't want to continue because it was ripping away parts of my adult life, potentially my ability to have kids, obviously my ability to breastfeed future children. I realized that I didn't have to change who I was in order to be happy. That there was never any problem with my body or my sex in the first place. That it all came down to feelings of social isolation and wanting to find a better life and figure out who I was in the world. But when I came back to my doctors asking them for help, the same doctors who referred me to surgery, who operated on me, who administered the sex hormones and the blockers to me, there was no help from them anymore. They I mean, for one, there's no framework for detransitioning in the medical system. There's no codes for doctors to bill for. There are no standards of care when it comes to treating either transition regret or addressing the problems that come from the medical transition or helping patients to reverse the medications or the other treatments. So, and my with my particular doctors, I feel like they had this attitude of, well, looks like we made a mistake. We don't want to face it though. And
That
so I've had to figure out the entire process of medically detransitioning with the help of other people, other patients, and also on my own, basically.
so is this is an interesting question. I never thought of this before. This is why I like having no preparation for this other than knowing the person I'm talking to. Is there health insurance coverage for transitioning but not detransitioning?
In a lot of states, yeah, there is complete health insurance coverage for at least the main three treatments: the puberty blockers for use in children, the cross-sex hormones, and the breast removal surgeries or the genital surgeries. There are some states like Colorado that are pushing for further coverage of even the more cosmetic surgeries, like the tracheal shave, the getting rid of the Adam's apple, the shaving down of bones in the face for men, breast implants, other masculinization procedures for the transgender women. Um, but when it comes again, there's no acknowledgement of those of us who end up going out the other way, who end up regretting it and try to reintegrate with our birth bodies and our birth identities as men and women.
Well, I mean, when you take a look at Jared Polis in Colorado, you kind of know why they're pushing for that stuff there and then get away with it. That guy's the weirdest governor I think I've ever seen in America. I don't know. Are you familiar with him at all?
I'm not familiar with him, but I've testified in Colorado a few times, and it's like Denver is just a mess. It's like it's worse than California, which is it's saying quite a bit. Like you drive down a single street, there's homeless, there's trash everywhere. It's like every third building is a dispensary. It's I hate to say it because it's such a beautiful state, but it's disgusting being there.
Here I'll give you a little tour of Jared Polis here. This is him. He kind of looks like the stereotype of someone else.
Feliz Navidad.
See,
Feliz Navidad.
that's enough. That is the
What was that?
huh?
What is that?
That is his Christmas message. He's dancing for he's doing Feliz Navidad.
No English?
No, I mean, come on, he's the.
Navidad prospero.
I don't want to see that again.
año y
There you go. You asked for it. You asked what it was. I had to play more of it, but that's the guy. I mean, it kind of makes sense when you see that guy. You're like, oh man, I wouldn't let him around my kids at all.
I don't know. There's something a little bit just from that one clip. I've never seen this man before, but he's unsettling and I don't know. I don't like it.
He's
I don't
a
like it
dude-
one bit.
He's a dude with a clammy, soft handshake, and like, you just gotta stay away from that guy. It's crazy to me, like that again, like the health insurance coverage and stuff. I mean, it's just wild how things are just kind of in favor of transitioning kids.
It's so backwards. It's like they put in every single incentive that they can to put a patient, especially the younger and younger you go into the process with no thought towards what I think is the most likely outcome of regret, of damage done to the body, of damage done psychologically. They treat it like it's permanent. Like a transgender identity is permanent, like it's ingrained in your soul and your body, and like there's just no possibility of people like me even existing.
When you go through that, like when you get your first shot of hormone blockers or puberty blockers or testosterone or whatever they're trying to do, doesn't that mess you up? Like, what's that feel like when you get hit with that?
The puberty blockers were awful. It basically put me into a childhood onset menopause. So I was experiencing menopausal symptoms like hot flashes, like uncomfortable burning, itching, tingling sensations throughout my body just intermittently on a daily basis. It was not only physically uncomfortable, but I also just felt emotionally numb while I was on it because my body was just in a sort of stasis and I wasn't developing as I should have been. But the testosterone was like a completely different drug. It was almost like a stimulant in the way that it like immediately uplifted me and changed my attitude, changed my behavior, changed my thoughts, changed me emotionally. And part of that was being told by so many people like, oh, like you're going to be more aligned with your perceived true self as the young man who you're always supposed to be and looking forward to the physical changes from it. But it's a powerful drug just on its own. Like sex hormones dictate so many different parts of our health and so many different parts of how even our brain and our minds function. And it was I couldn't even put into words just how radical it was. The changes to my body were also very immediate within the first, I'd say, like month or so, even the first few weeks. My voice dropped really super deep. Like it was deeper than even like pretty much all of my male peers throughout high school. Most of them had lighter voices than I did, and I even had a deeper voice than a lot of the adult men around me. It was kind of unsettling considering I'm a 5'3", 120-pound woman. And I had this deep, weird, just bizarre booming voice like I did. But I also started to develop a little bit of muscle. Even like the hair on my head started getting thicker, and I started to look more and more and more like a young man to the point that I started the drugs when I was in my 8th grade year. And by the time I entered high school, I just looked like a young man. I looked like pretty much any other boy at the school.
If you're starting from a place of autism and depression, which a lot of these kids are when they get into this, it gives you that high that makes you feel like you're doing the right thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, especially if you're a kid who's been different, who's been socially isolated, if you've been bullied, then it's like you get a chance to start over. You get a new life, you get a new identity, and you could leave your old birth self behind and find new friends. And if you're in my case, like I was starting a new school because I was going to high school. Mm, Pretty much nobody knew, as far as I know, other than people who I had already gone to school with. And none of them knew that I was actually a young woman. And so there was that excitement of everything just being completely novel. But that's not forever. Eventually it wears off. Eventually reality hits you and you realize you're living a lie every day. And it's a lot of weight to be carrying on your shoulders, especially when you're very young.
Also, the flip side of it too, like there are a lot of crazy adults that suddenly celebrate you, right? When you start doing that, like all of a sudden you get all the positive attention, or
Yeah, on the internet was where a lot of that attention came from me. And the further that I went into the process, starting with me announcing my transgender identity, and then eventually starting my first shot of testosterone, and finally with the surgery, the more people the more people celebrated every milestone, telling me like I was brave, that I was incredible, I was beautiful this way, that I was so lucky that they wish they could have started as young as I did. A lot of these adults will encourage a lot of these transgender adults will encourage children to go through the transition process as early as possible, and that comes from a place of envy, a place of looking at their own selves having transitioned at a much later age, and because of that not actually looking like the opposite sex. They're still men who got linebacker shoulders in a skin tight dress, and they'll never ever look like a woman. So they think, why don't I just have a kid? Why don't I encourage children to go through this instead, to fulfill this sick fantasy that I have for my own self?
yeah, they're looking for their own kind of acceptance and where they want to be, and so they're recruiting, right? It's kind of like it's scary. Like, what's the weird? I mean, you've now been on both sides of this. Like, who's like the weird, other than me, who's the weirdest adult that you've met in the middle of all of this stuff?
Ah.
Was there somebody in the middle that you're like, were there any alarm bells? Like, again, as a kid, you're very like malleable, but was there ever somebody you're like, really, this guy or this whatever this happening?
There are a lot of strange folks out there. Within the transgender community, there were a lot of grown adults who would like hit on me and like try to like make moves on me sexually. Like it was very uncomfortable. It was very wildly inappropriate, and these people should be going to jail for that. And at these now that I'm doing the work that I'm doing and I'm out there in the world directly facing some of these people, I've seen a lot of very strange personalities. In person, I've met these transgender activists who, I mean, they are just pure evil. Not only advocating for the systematic abuse of children in healthcare, but also some of them are running actual networks where they share their prescriptions. They share these drugs. They even give instructions to children under the age of 18 on how to make estrogen or these other drugs at home, or how to get a hold of them.
That
It's
is,
drug trafficking to
it,
children.
yeah. I mean, and on top of big pharma cashing in too, but it's insane to me. Like, again, like I kind of assumed that I didn't want to like be like how many groomers are out there with this stuff, but it's
Too many.
common. Yeah. I mean, that's what this is, right? I mean, when you see like when I see drag queens, and again, we were making fun of the guy doing the news earlier there, but drag queen story hour. What's the point of that? What's the point of that other than to recruit or to normalize or to groom?
I mean, it's seeing things like that, even knowing, even understanding intellectually what the purpose of it is. It's just so hard to look at these things, just to see these people going out there to present themselves the way that they do in front of children, for the purpose of recruiting them, for the purpose of normalizing these ideas in their heads. It's just so sickening.
Yeah, it's wild. Have you written a book on this yet?
I have not yet, but
Uh-huh.
that is
There's
something
that
that
look.
will be in the works,
Uh-huh.
and I will be working on and eventually releasing a book of my own.
You're going to do a children's book too, or are you going to do a regular one?
I would love to. Yes, I will. I plan on doing a children's book, and I would love if I would be able to get the opportunity to use my own artistic capabilities and illustrate it as well.
Yeah. Hey, hold on.
That's
'cause
actually
you get hold on before we get to that, because here's where I am on this. Like, this is all you get to talk about. Like, can I learn more about you? Can we learn more about you? Because, like, again, like, you're an artist. I had no idea. Because again, one of the things that, I mean, it's incredible. Again, you're a hero. You do amazing things. But one of the things that
Thank you.
nobody gets to know who the hell you are, because you talk about this very specific thing, and it's like, what else is going on?
Well, yeah, I'm an artist. I'm an illustrator. It's not something that I do professionally, and it's something that I definitely did a lot more during my childhood. But from a very young age, I've just been scribbling and drawing, and it's mostly characters, it's mostly people. Sometimes it's like clothing and outfit and fashion design. But I just have papers and notebooks and folders stashed like all over my mom and dad's house, and like every drawer, every cabinet to the brim with my illustrations from my toddlerhood up until my senior year of high school. And it's just that creativity has always been a part of me. I love to be expressive. I love to express myself in whatever ways I feel like on a given day, whether it be through makeup, whether it be through clothing. Sometimes I'll post my drawings on X and on Instagram.
Oh, no, I think that's kind of cool, man. I think you should. By the way, I'm sorry I keep saying man and dude. It's just my thing. I know it's the wrong person to be saying that to and all this. I'll just,
No, it's great.
I caught that earlier. I'm like, dude, man, like, and I'm like, no, I should know, lady.
Earlier, I was thinking, wow, it's the first time I've been called Chloe Man.
Chloe, man. Oh, yeah. It's just my, like, it's at least I'm not swearing as much as I normally do. If Tiny Nugget was still here, I'd just cuss at her the entire
I like how casual this is.
And
This
that's
is pretty
the whole
fun.
point. Like, dude, I hate. See, look there, I did it. I hate normal political shows. I hate them. I hate how they come in and you have these formal questions and everybody says the same thing all over and over again. Last night I did a live stream. I think it was like 70,000 people or something tuned in. But like, I just want to talk about whatever I feel like talking about, and I like having a normal human conversation because there's normal humans. And like that's what like last week I had on Trump's former deputy national security advisor, and we talked about the Phillies. And like I'm sure people are like in like all the leftists are like, oh my god, what are they going to talk about? And it's like the Phillies, and they're like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? What is this? Like, because there's a human here. I know you got it's not talking points. You have your life or your talking points. You do incredible work, but there's so much more to it. I'm going to ask a question. You're 20, right?
Yeah, 20
Yeah.
going on 21 next
Okay,
month.
listen, everyone in the chat or whoever's watching this, please don't think this is creepy. What's dating like?
I mean, because of how busy I've been over the past few
Mhm.
years, I haven't had a whole lot of time for it.
Yeah.
I remember when I was 17, I was like freshly detransitioning. I thought, oh my gosh, my life is over. I don't even have boobs. Like, how am I going to attract a partner? But I found like especially as I've healed from all the drugs and the treatments, and my body has aligned more and more with itself. Those things don't really deter people, at least good people who have been good-hearted and have liked me for me, and that's something that I'm very grateful for.
Yeah, I mean, you seem cool as shit, dude. Like, it's so again, sorry, dude, but yeah, like you seem cool as shit. Like, and I wish that Trinity didn't have whatever she's on tonight, because I would have loved to have expanded that conversation because she had one strawberry mojito in her at the old YWLS, and she approached a guy, and I'm like, okay, let's go. He would like, and I feel like an old man. Like I'm just sitting, I just like hid in the corner, like, well, that kind of sounds creepy. And she like approaches this guy and like is like, hey, let's go out. I'm like, yeah, get it. And he was like, oh, I'm single, but I'm too busy. And I'm like, gay.
Way to get a girl.
I
I mean,
mean,
why else is he there?
you know, I go to the conference as a newly single guy, and it's my own personal hell because 99.5% women, and they all look like babies, right? Everybody's like a baby there.
I mean,
And
it basically is all babies.
it's all babies. It's all babies. And I'm like, hey, we're just gonna. I just told Trinity, I was like, hey, just keep getting me drinks, and I'll just sit back, and you can go meet anybody. I'll use my little poll to get you to meet anybody you want to meet here. And so we hung out, and she interviewed some congressmen and stuff like that. So it was really cool. Yeah, like I gave her the opportunity because I'm like, no, thanks, Charlie, for the ticket. Next time, I'm just gonna sit in VIP and drink, and that'll be fine because it's down the street from me. That's why we went. It literally is like a mile down the street from me, so that's why we were there. We didn't fly in or anything.
Are you guys in the Dallas area?
literally, so where that convention center is, we live a mile down the street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like it was like I literally texted him. I'm like, and that's where like CPAC's going to be, and I know a bunch of the people because my ex was the she used to do the influencer marketing for Turning Point and stuff like that. So
Wait, what do you mean CPAC's going to be in Texas? I thought that was a DC thing.
CPAC next year is going to be in March. Is down the street at the same place.
They're moving it?
Uh-huh.
Good to know.
Yeah, well, they should let people know. I mean, we could double check, but I was just talking with them the other day about maybe being their like local ambassador for the town here, since I almost ran for mayor of Grapevine, where everything is located here, and so yeah, so that'll be you'll be back, I guess, doing a thing.
Yeah.
Let's ask this question: creepy guys on the conservative side?
Yeah,
Just say yeah.
there's been a few. Yeah.
Mhm.
There
Mhm.
I won't get into too much detail, but there's some
Pretty much, yeah.
people like I feel like there's like this subset of young conservative men who are like they're like fresh into conservatism, like they're just like getting out into the adult world, like early 20s, but they spent like basically their entire adolescence kind of like me, like kind of being nerdy, kind of just like doing just playing video games and doing nerdy stuff all day. Because of that, like they don't really know how to like socialize and interact with the opposite sex. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm not trying to like
Well, hold on, but while you think about this,
give these people a
well,
bad name, but these are struggles that they do have, and I've definitely encountered a few of them, and there's been a few awkward
every
interactions
time
for sure.
Trinity's on this thing, she goes to me, she goes, grabs her phone, and she goes, "It's a bunch of old men on my Instagram."
Oh, I think we just got the
Did you?
connection
Oh,
back.
did we? Oh, sorry.
I don't know how much of that
I
you
got
caught.
all of it, and then it just looked like you froze, and then you looked over, and then we're
Okay.
back. No, I said every time
Okay, cool.
Trinity's on this show, and I warn everyone, don't bother Instagram. She starts getting all sorts of messages on Instagram. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what is this?
Whew.
From people who look like me,
Yeah,
old guys
the
like me.
Instagram DMs
Like, come
are
on, please. You there?
Hey,
Yeah.
can
Oh no.
can you hear me? Sorry, I'm on satellite
Oh.
internet right now,
Oh
so I
no.
don't
I
know
hope
how
it's not the
much.
Star. Is it Starlink?
Yeah, I'm on Starlink. I don't know if it's on my
I'm
side or if it's on your
hardwired,
guys'
so it's on
side.
you. It's you. Uh-oh. Oh no. Chloe, no. There you go.
You sound like a robot, but I think I can
Yeah, there we
understand
go.
you now.
I was just saying, like, it's just
Cool.
Trinity gets it, so I just figured everybody gets it. Every girl on the side gets it.
Yeah, it's like those Instagram DMs are it's like looking at the bottom of a dumpster, basically. It's not pleasant.
That is, there's the clip. No, it is. It is. And it's like, I tell her all the time, like, why are there guys my age that look like me in your DMs? That is creepy. That is creepy.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no.
I would say that's about like 50% of the weird DMs I get, unfortunately. Just like lonely old dudes who have no boundaries.
Ugh. Well, stick with YWLS and the young guys there or whatever that are floating around.
Yeah.
Chloe, I just want to thank you for coming out and doing the show tonight. I really appreciate all of your work. I appreciate everything you do. You really are, and I've said it a couple of times, you're a real hero. And I really thank
Well,
you for
thank
sharing your
you.
story. And if there's anything I can do, I just follow. By the way, I wasn't following you on X because I'm an asshole. I just did that.
Fake.
A dick. That's what my. But listen, anything that I can help you with, whether it be like, getting your books and stuff promoted or whatever you want to do, you let me know. I'm a friend, and please use my network and stuff. I do Heritage Foundation stuff and whatever else. Please use my network when you can.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for having me on the show, and this was really fun. This was definitely refreshing because it's not often that I get to go on a show that has like this much of a laid back and casual pace. So
It's a
it's been
it's a
fun.
crazy concept to just have a conversation, isn't it? Just to talk.
Yeah, it's like I do this all the time. I could also do it on camera,
It's fun. Listen, and also if you're ever in Grapevine, you should hang out with Trinity and stuff, and we'll take you out and everybody. Your whole family's welcome here.
Yeah, of course. I'd love to. I mean, I think I was just there actually, hanging out with some friends. So
Yeah,
now I know.
absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm going to throw you out of here now, and I'm going to do all my sponsorship shit. But thank you, and we'll talk soon, man.
Yeah,
See ya.
you
Bye.
too.
All right, guys, let's talk about all of the fun things that are going. Chloe Cole, by the way, what an incredible person. Let's go to the chat here real quick. Repost a broadcast, or you're Or you're definitely a communist. Yes, correct. Thanks, Chloe. Aloha, also from Donnie. Guys, I want to thank you guys for being here, by the way. Traveling Fools, thanks for being here. What a hell of a fun conversation, huh? And also, I want to get to, there's some stuff I want to talk about before we get out of here, because our friends over at Kalshi have a concerning piece of information that I want to share with you guys today. This is the New York City mayoral race, okay? And these predictive markets, let's get this blown up. These predictive markets have been right most of the time with this stuff, okay? This is scary to me. And again, you go to Kalshi, kalshi.com/Tim Young. Right now, it's basically a dead heat. In fact, it has just shifted to a dead heat while we were live on air just now. 49-49 Andrew Cuomo and that Zoran Mamdani. This is scary to me. But look, hey, New York City, I hope you have enjoyed your time with women's rights. I hope that you've enjoyed your time with freedom. Because if you elect the Muslim guy, Zoran Mamdani, best of luck. Best of luck with what's going to happen there. This is scary as shit. Should be scary as shit to most people. Again, like, and you're taking a look at these numbers, and he has surged in the polls. So these numbers, Andrew Cuomo, if we go back here, Andrew Cuomo at one point, the predictive model had him at 90% and Zoran Mamdani at 8.3%. Now, it has swung. It has completely swung. And today, for the first time, and Cuomo's back up 50-49. Today, for the first time, Mamdani took a slight lead in the predictive markets. These predictive markets are always right. I have been following Kalshi. They've been a great friend of the show for a long time, but I've been watching them for a very long time. I've been paying attention to everything they've been doing. All of these predictive markets, they have nailed everything. They've nailed it all. And I'm looking at this, and this should concern everyone. Absolutely should concern everyone. But one of the places, again, like I always say, it's fun, and it is fun to participate on Kalshi. Obviously, you should go participate on Kalshi. Love these guys. These predictive markets are not typically wrong. I'm telling you this right now. And Mamdani was ahead earlier. Cuomo barely ahead. He's dropped 17 points. Mamdani's up 18 points today. I don't know where this goes, but it should worry you. I don't know what's going to happen in New York City, but this is something that we need to keep our eyes on, and something we need to be paying attention to. Again, scary shit. You guys should be paying attention to this while you're, again, out there doing everything else that's going on in the world. And here we go, by the way. Peace has been struck. Will there be a new U.S.-Iran nuclear deal this year? Well, as of a couple of days ago, there was a 29% chance on Kalshi. Now we're up to 45% chance. In fact, at some point today, it peaked at a 48.1% chance. I think that I don't know that they even need a nuclear deal because Iran doesn't have any capabilities to make nuclear weapons anymore. And Donald Trump saying earlier that he has struck a deal. This guy should get a peace prize for his work. Here we go. This is from the president earlier today. Congratulations to everyone. It's been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now, which I believe is now, maybe a little bit later, when Israel and Iran have wound down and completed their in-progress final missions. For 12 hours, at which point the war will be considered ended. Officially, Iran will start the ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, or Israel will start the ceasefire, and upon the 24th hour, an official end of the 12-day war will be saluted by the world. During each ceasefire, the other side will remain peaceful and respectful. On the assumption that everything works as it should, which it will, I would like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage, and intelligence to end what we called the 12-day war. This is a war that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. God bless Israel. God bless Iran. God bless the Middle East. God bless the United States of America. And God bless the world, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. So that, my friends, is why on Kalshi.com, now looking pretty good that there might be a nuclear deal, but I don't think they have nuclear weapons anymore. By the way, Donnie Girl says, escape from New York. Scared for New York. It is very scary. New York could be the new Iran. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Who knows? I mean, who knows what could happen there? Again, because in this mayoral race over on Kalshi, now Cuomo's pulling ahead. Maybe people are watching the show and getting involved. Kalshi.com/Tim Young, or if you have your account over there, you can go get involved. But Cuomo up 52.49. These real-time markets, I'm telling you, Kalshi is always accurate. You should be on that site. You should be participating in the site if you can. It's fun to do. It's scary sometimes, scary as shit sometimes when we take a look at things. But this is, and it's scary. I'm not going to lie to you. It's scary that could be. Shuck says, Alex Jones looks pretty silly right now. Yeah, a lot of people, listen, a lot of people really thought this was going to go south. If you talk to any of my friends, which I should, again, Tiny Baby Nugget could come on here. You talk to my friends, I told everybody that I thought this was going to be over real quick. Again, you can get involved on the New York City mayoral race and also the new Iran nuclear deal over there. About a month ago, I was going through a not fun time. Also, by the way, before we go there, hold on. There's Chloe Cole. Look at that lady doing the Trump dance. That is clearly a freeze of her doing the Trump dance. What a star. Go follow her at Chew Cole. There you go, Chew Cole. Couple of months ago, well, about a month or so ago, I was able to go hang out with one of the most remarkable human beings I've ever met. Nicole Shanahan, who gave me a tour of her office. And let me tell you something. Boy, have I lost weight since I've done this. I was in a rotten place. I show up to her place, by the way. She is the kindest human being I've ever met. Is this Nicole Shanahan. She welcomes me into her house literally a day before I had just been forced to end my relationship. And she's like, you got to get in my relaxation chair. And so we do this in this chair that I'm in right there, where you can see that I now don't, I used to not have a neck. If you take a look at this, look at this. I used to not have a neck there. Now I have a neck again. I've lost quite a lot. This remarkable human being, Nicole Shanahan, told me, we do this interview, we hang out in her house, and she says, hey, stick around, use the relaxation chair. It's what I've gotten through some stressful stuff in. I want you to get through it too. And again, just a great human being, a remarkable interview. I'm going to play this for you while I'm hanging out here because I love these segments. This is the What's in Your Office with Nicole Shanahan. She is just a good person, man. You meet, again, Chloe Cole, great person too. You meet these great people. And one of the fun things I get to do in media is, oh, thank you, Shuck. That's the only, Shuck has broken character to actually congratulate me on losing weight. The man who mocks me constantly has broken character to tell me I look great. But I was going through it. Let me tell you something. I showed up. I was depressed as shit doing this. Nicole Shanahan opened her house to do this great interview with me. We had planned on this for a long time and was the warmest, nicest, kindest person that anyone could ever be. You would not know how successful she is and how great she is because she's so down to earth and just such a great human being. That being said, I want to share this interview with you because this is my in the office. What's in Your Office with Nicole Shanahan. I love this so much. This is so much fun. Tim Kennedy over at the Daily Signal edited this. He's a great editor. And I just want to share this with you. It's a 7-minute segment. I love it. I might interrupt once in a while, but I'm going to run out real quick while we're playing this. I got to hit the bathroom because I'm old. But I'm going to run out while we're playing this, and I will be back in a minute. But here is me doing What's in Your Office with the incredible Nicole Shanahan. Here we go.
There we go. And you want to be about an inch away from the head. And this will help with hair growth too.
I heard that through the waves in my ears. Nicole, Thanks for letting me come in here and hang out in your office.
Well, welcome. Yeah, welcome to Atherton, California.
Where do we start here? I mean, this is incredible.
So this is my home office. This is where I was shooting a lot during the election because I, have a young daughter, so I wanted to work from home. Of course, the Make America Healthy Again hat signed by President Trump.
By the way, I think you're the only person who has been on a national campaign that has filled out a absentee ballot in front of an audience, and that was probably the coolest moment, I think, for the entire campaign for me with you. I think that was wild. I mean, you did a lot of things, you contributed a lot of things, but no one, I think, has ever thought to do that before. And when you started that, did you think it would get as big as it did?
We didn't name Maha. Maha didn't exist until we, Bobby and I shifted the campaign to supporting Donald Trump's race. And it was only then that the Kennedy campaign became Maha and bonded with the MAGA peoples. Because it was a term that we didn't feel right naming ourselves with. You just those best titles are the ones given to you. So we felt really fortunate in that we were gifted that. So this is my German grandma. So I'm half Chinese, half Irish, a quarter Irish, a quarter German. And so this is when I'm, I think, 3 years old here. And you can really see the similarity to my daughter. So I don't know if you know Joe Allen. He just came on my podcast, but transhumanism, that's going to be a theme also that I'll be writing about because tech is great, but like at some point do you want to experience a chair that you sit in, or do you want like a chip implanted into your brain to achieve the same thing?
I'm gonna lean chair for right now. I think that's where we go with that. That's probably the healthier option, but.
So scattered throughout my office, you'll see various things that are prototypes of some of these devices that mimic the healing power of sunlight. And so this, you can see here, is designed with some really cool, interesting LEDs from Japan. Actually, they make incredible LEDs, but this is supposed to mimic the first few minutes of sunrise.
Oh, wow. So let me ask you this before I take my hat off. Do you have something that helps grow hair back on the back of your head too?
So red light helps.
Really?
Yeah, there's certain forms of red light that help with
glasses. That's my forehead.
Hair growth. We want it over your right prefrontal cortex.
Yeah.
Which is right here on your right side, because this part of your brain is believed to have executive function for the rest of your brain. So we're going to go ahead and turn this on now. You are getting right now a high dose of morning sunlight into your prefrontal cortex, which is going to send signals to the rest of your brain to receive those photons into your mitochondria and effectively go into what's called the electron transport chain of your mitochondria. Every cell in your body has one of these, and it's just going to super infuse your cells with energy and signal to get those cells to function at a higher capacity and with kind of greater synchronistic harmony.
There are a few things. Where do we go?
Here, let's go to this one. So, this is invented by this group of guys in Santa Barbara. It's now called the Shift Wave. It does look like an electric chair. It is technically an electric chair. So it's programmed with all of these different things that help you with like immunity. So there's an immune boost setting. There's a nervous system optimizer. There's like all these different channels. So when I'm going through like a particularly rough and stressful time, or anxious, and I just need a little bit of nervous system reset, this is really helpful. In fact, I funded these guys to go to Ukraine to help out soldiers on the front lines and individuals living in Ukraine as well that were experiencing the stresses of war.
I'm definitely not as stressed out as anyone in Ukraine, but can I try it and see if it helps me out? I'm a little stressed this week. This exposes to everyone just how jiggly I am at the moment.
So just breathe with it. Yeah, I'm gonna turn off these overhead lights.
Oh, this is cool.
I don't, advertise the fact that I love soda, but I love soda. However, there is Olipop's. Have you had one of those?
Oh yeah.
It tastes just like old school Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Like this vintage cola.
Yeah.
It is mind-blowingly delicious. Would you like one?
Yes, ma'am.
And now, okay, Mexican Coca-Cola.
With real sugar.
With real sugar. No corn syrup, no high fructose corn syrup. So this is where I go in the afternoon where when I really need to pick me up.
You know a guy that might kind of help put real sugar in a lot of Coca-Cola, maybe around the country.
I do know a guy. We're it's a good idea. Come on into the snack cabinet. We've got our dried fruit section. These are a big fan favorite here. These are called the Amara Smoothie Melts. No added sugar at all. They're delicious. Do you want to try one?
Yeah. I'm not going to turn you down for any snacks. Look at me. I need to probably lay off the snacks.
So this has vegetables and fruits, freeze-dried and all packed in.
Oh, hey.
Good, right? Meat sticks. These are incredible.
It's been nice hanging out with you. Thanks for showing me your office, and thanks for the snacks. Yeah, I'll shake your hand and then I'll run out of here with everything that I've taken.
Let me know if you want to come back and try out the chair again.
Yes. You can check out that and many more things over on thedailysignal.com. Again, dude, Mexican Coke is Hunter's favorite. No, listen, I really loved it. I loved hanging out with her. I loved hanging out with her team over there. I want to thank Zach and everybody over there, and my new friend who I met through her that we talk about pro wrestling all the time. A great time hanging out with Nicole Shanahan, one of the founders of the Maha movement, and a great segment. Man, did I come up with an idea or what there? I am. I hear he prefers Colombian, not the number. But no, listen, what a time to hang out there. And we went out to San Jose to hang out in her personal office. And she did. She put me back in the electromagnetic chair and told me, hey, while you're here, why don't you de-stress a bit? And I did. And it was a great time. And we got to hang out with a lot of cool people. And it was fun. So I really enjoyed that. I want to thank her and again, all of her entire team for being over there. Again, I want to thank you. Let's take a look again. I want to go back to this Kalshi live status right now, these primaries. Again, back to 50-50. We will see what happens here. Right now, back 50-50. The Zoran Mamdani and Andrew Cuomo are tied as to who would be the next mayor of New York, because it ain't going to be the Republican. We know that. I mean, you want to bet there's zero chance that it's a Republican. But right now, 50-50 that it could go to the Muslim, the very strict Muslim. Hey, you get what you get, right? New York, you're going to get what you get. This is let's put this over the big one. Who knows here? I really can't. I need to learn how to use my computer. How about that? You get what you get, New York, and good luck if you don't take. I mean, Andrew Cuomo's bad enough, but good luck if you take the other guy. And again, right now, we're at a 48% chance that there will be a new U.S.-Iran nuclear deal this year. So, a lot to talk about, a lot to get involved with over on Kalshi.com. And again, we've got, according to Donald Trump, we've got peace. And if that follows through, which I do believe it will happen, and he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. Will he get one? No, because they don't like him. Because the Nobel Committee does not like that man. They remember they gave a peace prize to Barack Obama for nothing, but to Donald Trump, there you go, Donnie girl. You get what you get, and don't throw a fit. That's right. You get what you get. Again, Kalshi.com/Tim Allen. You want to go over there, or just Kalshi.com. You can go and get involved in the markets. I am very glad. Jim Bob, what does Kalshi say about bacon futures in New York City? Well, right now, not good. Not good. Not looking good for the old the bacon futures over in New York. I don't know. Not looking good. God, I love the commenters on this. Guys, a great time tonight. Again, Chloe Cole, what a hero, a great conversation, a normal conversation, because I know that she gets all the ridiculous interviews all the time, the very strict interviews and the very specific, again, it's got to be annoying for people. She would never say it because she's graceful and kind and all of those things, but it's got to be annoying to have those same conversations over and over again, and very, very strict, kind of boring conversations. You just have a normal conversation with people. I get to have very incredibly interesting people on. Did I trip over my lamp? My neat little backlight went out on my my Project 2025 and Christy Yamaguchi. Oh no. I'm really concerned right now. I need to have a spotlight on Christy Yamaguchi and my mandate for leadership. Well, I need to go figure that out. While I go figure that out, I want you guys to have a good night. Go over to Kalshi.com. Take a look at that Iran nuclear deal. Take a look at the predictive markets for the New York mayoral race. Get involved if you would like. I would recommend it. It's fun. Politics doesn't always have to be boring and stodgy. You can have normal conversations. You can get involved on Kalshi. I want to thank you guys for being here tonight. What a great time. And Tiny Baby Nugget was here earlier. Chloe Cole was here earlier. And I'm going to run the commercial one more time for our great friends over at the American Beverage Association. Again, got them up there. Got Kalshi right there. Donnie Girl, have a night. Great night. Jim Bob, everybody else. Shuck, thanks for being kind to me for once. It's a crazy. What a night, huh? Here we go.
Our nation is standing up for American workers, restoring the pride of making products here at home. That's what we do every day. We're America's beverage companies, making American products with American workers in America's hometowns, delivering brands that have been enjoyed for generations, creating good-paying jobs, the kind that require only a strong work ethic. Because we believe in the promise of America and the people who make it great.
I want to thank the American Beverage Association and thank all of you guys. I will see you tomorrow night. I will have back on tomorrow night my buddy Chris Putnam, the CEO of the Dallas Express. He's always fun to have on here. Maybe he's improved his microphone situation at his house and some lighting. I'm looking forward. I'm going to have to improve this lighting, man. This is depressing that I don't have the spotlight on Christy Yamaguchi. What am I doing with my life? Guys, it's been fun. I'll talk to you soon. See you next time. See you tomorrow night. Every night of the week, Monday, Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I really enjoy hanging out here on X. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe if you're on all the other stuff, Rumble or YouTube. Great time hanging out. See you soon.